Hi folks, welcome back to the Plain Fun RC channel. This is Saul, and I want to go ahead and continue our update here on the DeHavilland DH88. So the biggest issue has been where to put the batteries. I will truly say that while this is a wonderful airplane, they did not give a lot of thought to electric conversion, and they clearly just thought this would just be strictly nitro. But, you know, that's okay. Anyway, so the biggest issue is where to put the batteries. Now, initially, I was going to go ahead and say that we're going to put the batteries back here. Lots of room here in the wheel well, but there's a big problem. It puts the batteries after the CG, and these batteries, they're 4-cell, about 4,000 milliamp packs. That's going to put a lot of weight towards the rear of the plane, which would mean we need to put even additional weight here in the nose of the plane, making the plane heavier. So the instructions do show putting the batteries here, but they would just install 2 spruce rails and it's supposed to be strapped to it, and there really isn't any way to do that properly. So what I had here, it was a half of a 6S battery tray from F3A Unlimited, and the other half is over here, and I literally cut it in half. As you can see. And what we're doing is, and we've got the, we're looking at the right engine here, upside down. You can see here how we have the carbon fiber rod. Let me see if I can peek in there a little bit lower. It's a little hard to see. Anyway, let me look down this way. There it is. There's the carbon fiber rod. So there's a carbon fiber rod that passes through, and underneath each of the trays halves, you can see there's already a laser cut hole. And that's what holds the tray in place once they're mounted. As a matter of fact, here's the bottom half of the tray that's glued in place, and you can see the holes. And we literally just cut the tray in half like this. And it works perfect. It has more than enough surface here to put Velcro on. We've got a strap. The battery won't move, and the 4S fits perfectly in here. And it keeps the weight ahead of the CG, which is what you're going to need for this plane. Now, of course, the big disadvantage is that you do have the cowlings here, and there is no way to magnetically put them in place. You wind up having to screw and unscrew them every time you want to get at the battery, which is not convenient. I have a couple of electric conversions where you have to do that, and that's not the most convenient way to do it. But, you know, it'll work. It'll work. So we are going to mount our speed control back there, and you can actually see, if you look right there, there's a servo tray, laser cut servo tray. That is, I'm going to try to see if we can mount the speed control to that, maybe just some ties or Velcro or something. We'll give it a try. If not, then I've got another configuration in mind. And then, of course, you know, that wheel well just stays open, because it was, the option for this plane was you could get pneumatic retracts as well. So we have our tray installed. We're going to glue this in place. Very important, extremely important. Before you do any tray of any kind in this front area, you have got to make sure you have your motor installed correctly and make sure the rotation of the motor is correct. Obviously, we can go and we can program the speed control to change the rotation, but of course, there's that other way where you can just reverse the wires, which is what I did. This one rotates clockwise. This one's going to rotate counterclockwise. So I've already switched the wires, and therefore that way you're getting the proper counter-rotating motors, so as to eliminate the torque that can occur with twins. All right, folks, more to come. All right, folks, welcome back to the Plain Fun RC channel. It's Saul here. I want to go ahead and show you what we did with the battery mounts. So you can see we've got them set up the same in both engines. Initially, I was going to glue them in place, but then I realized if I did that, there would be no way for me to access this engine or the motor at all if it needed to be repaired or whatever. So, but I had an idea. So I made these, well, not even made, these are carbon fiber push rods, and so what it is, I made holes, drilled holes in the side here and here. And what I'm going to do is, if you're familiar with RC cars, they have those like cotter pins, if you will, or something to that effect, that help to hold the chassis in place. I'm just going to drill a couple holes, hole here, hole here, hole there, and a hole there, and then take them and pass them through the holes. They'll act as clips, like body clips for a Traxxas vehicle. And that way to hold these in place. And if I ever need to work on the motor, I just slide them right out, slide the rods out, and I can lift up the tray, and then I can go ahead and I can work and do whatever I need to do. So that's how we did it. It was very simple, very easy to do, not complicated at all. The only thing I had to do is I had to drill. If you look underneath here, let me see if I can show you. Oh, well, that's not really all working that well. But anyway, let me see if I can zoom in a little bit. So right down here underneath, you can see this little supporting structure. That already had a hole drilled, as you saw previously, but I had to drill a second hole towards the back because this little piece underneath the supporting structure goes all the way back in the center. So I just had to drill an extra hole. Once I did that, it was fine. And then we've got some heavy duty Velcro here. And the reason why I decided to put them here instead of back there is because obviously, as I said before, we want to keep the weight forward, but even the instructions show the battery needs to sit here in order for the plane to balance out correctly. So that's pretty much it. I'm just waiting for the pins to arrive so I can go ahead and put those in place, and then we'll balance the plane and she's all done. All right, more to come.